Hello, welcome to I Need Scrum Master. Welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you for hitting that subscribe button. If you are new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and share. Refer your friends to I Need Scrum Master YouTube channel. You can also visit my website at www.ineedscrummaster.com. If you are looking for a place to start your Scrum Master career or Agile Coach career, please don't fail to reach out and visit my website. Or you can email me at info@ineedscrummaster.com. Or you could also comment on the comment section of this video, and then we can be able to schedule a meet. All right. Previously, I have been for a couple of time now, dishing out some of the terminologies and concepts and words and phrases that are common in an agile environment or that are common among Scrum team members, right? So the reason I thought it's necessary to explain those concepts so that in the process of this YouTube channel, when you hear me use them, it wouldn't be so strange to you, so you can easily catch up. All right, so if you haven't really, if this is the first video you are hearing me talk about Scrum and Agile concept, please visit the other previous videos I made before this one, and then you can be able to catch up. All right, so we are gradually coming to the end. I think today I can be able to wrap up on those terminologies so that we can really get on hold to the next issues for this on this channel. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as always so that we can get started. All right, so in the last video I made, I was trying to explain some of the terminologies, and the last one was on targeted technical depth. So today we are going to start from 109. There are lots of concepts that are involved or that are very common in an agile environment. So, but I kind of laid and then exhumed, these ones, which you will be so familiar with in the process of your agile and Scrum journey. Okay, so the next one we have is task. The technical work that a development team performs in order to complete a product backlog item. So in the process of the Scrum ceremony, the developers are going to perform some, activities. So the work that they do are called tasks. Task board. In other words, task board are the places or is that place where the tasks are being placed, right? So an information radiator used during sprint execution to communicate the progress and flow of task level work within a sprint. One of the task boards that are very common in an Agile or in Scrum is the Jira. The Jira gives us that visibility where we can see the work that are still in the to-do column, that are in progress, that are in the done column. Okay, technical depth. A term used to describe the obligation that a software organization incurs when it chooses a design or construction approach that is expedient in the short term, but that increases complexity and is more costly in the long term. What does that mean? Sometimes in the development work, the developers might decide to cut corners, right, in order to first of all ship and then come back to refactor. So that is, in other words, a technical debt. Test-driven development, TDD, an evolutionary approach to development based on writing a failing automated test before the functional code that makes the test pass. Once the code is written to pass the test, the cycle is then repeated, including refactoring the existing code to ensure coherent cross-functional design. The goal is specification and not validation. So what does that mean? All of these technical jargons, what it means is that in an agile environment or in Scrum, the developers might decide, first of all, to write a test and then see if the code they are writing will pass that test. Whether it fails or passes, the developers can be able to, refactor and then see how best to write it again. So that is what this test-driven development mean. All right, test-first development, a technical practice where the tests are written before the development is performed. So there are times when developers, have to write a task which is kind of close to the TDD, right? these ways, engineering practices where the developers have to make sure that code errors don't occur in the code repository, right? So test first development, the first write a test, and then the test means the kind of the commands or the commands that the code has to go through. If it passes, then it passes. If it fails, then it fails. Then they can be able to go back again and then do it more proper. Team, a collection of related user stories. So we already explained, I'm going to explain very soon what user story is. A group of user stories are called teams. So that's that. Time box. Time box, as the name suggests, is a length period of time during which an activity is performed. So all of the activities, all of the ceremonies, all of the events that happen in an agile environment or happens in a Scrum are time boxed. They're all time boxed. Whether you are having your daily stand-up, whether you are having your sprint planning, whatever meeting that you're having in Scrum is time boxed, right? For example, the daily stand-up is time boxed 15 minutes, according to the Scrum guide. If you're having your sprint planning, it is time boxed, right? Realistically, the Scrum guide specifies the amount of time, but realistically, between an hour and an hour 30 minutes should be enough for you to do a 2-week sprint time box meeting. Okay. Transparency. Transparency is one of the pillars of Scrum, or one of the empirical process control. In other words, you want to make sure that whatever the Scrum team is building or whatever they are working on is visible for everybody to see. All right. T-shaped skills. So there are things you encourage among the developers to have, right? So as against in a waterfall environment where everybody is kind of much more concerned about, personal or their individual contribution or individual skill, but in Agile or in Scrum, you are encouraging your developers to be much more to outgrow that individualism. So T-shaped is a metaphor used to describe a person with a deep vertical skill in a specialized area, as well as broad but not necessarily very deep skill in other relevant areas. So what that means is a developer might be very skilled in coding, but at the same time has a skill in documentation, right? So the person would help out when it is necessary to do documentation. So, but in a waterfall environment, it doesn't really happen. It is just coding and coding for one developer. The other person is much more concerned about documentation. So T-shaped is when a developer is more or less very versatile. So that word is versatility. It could really correlate with T-shaped skill. Unavoidable technical debt. I've already explained what a technical debt is. So as the name suggests, unavoidable, a form of technical debt that is usually unpredictable and unpreventable and accrues through no fault of the team building the product. This is something that is unavoidable, something that should or could or must happen, right? It is no fault of the developers, unpredictable, unforeseen, unknown unknowns, the things that we do not yet know the things that we do not yet know that we do not know, right? So in Scrum, there are things that the Scrum team do not know as they begin, right? So that is called unknown unknowns. User story. All right, so user story is quite so common in Scrum, right? So it is more or less a convenient format for expressing the desired business value for many types of product backlog items. So in other words, all of the items that the developers are building as they begin a project are called user stories. Whatever that is deriving business value, so is seen as a user story. And then they are written in a format. It has a format for writing a user story. For example, it says, as a XYZ, I want XYZ in order for XYZ. So in other words, the end result or the business value of what the developers are coding or working on is categorized as a user story. All right, values has two meanings, those things that we hold dear. Secondly, the foundation of a shared operating agreement among members of a team. So the first one I'm going to explain for example, whatever the developers that are so consigning to them is a value, or whatever that they shipping to the company here, delivering value, right? So whatever that is has a business result or has a business profit, is a value. And at the same time, developers might decide among themselves to agree on something that they will keep each other accountable. So that is also seen as a value. Velocity, a measure of the rate at which work is completed per unit of time. Okay, so velocity is a way you can measure how much can team members be able to accomplish per sprint. All right, waste, and any activity that consumes resources and produces no added value to the product or service that a customer receives. So waste is more or less a lean, you could see waste from a lean agile perspective. So lean is another agile framework, just like we have Scrum. So whatever that consumes resource that doesn't produce value is seen as a waste. And as a Scrum Master, an excellent Scrum Master, try as much as he or she could in order to limit or reduce waste among Scrum team members. Waterfall, a term referring to the graphical depiction of a development process in which the sequential phases of a work are shown flowing steadily downwards. So there are two, let me explain this way. There are two project management methodologies. You have waterfall and then you have agile. So waterfall is a project management methodology whereby there are phases of the project or sequential approach to that project, right? So one cannot happen before the other. For example, you have the design, you have the requirement gathering, which happens first. You have the designing, which happens second. You have the execution, right, which happens third. So you can't start the project without the requirement or the designing. So there is this sequential way of working on a project. So that is what waterfall is. Imagine if you've been to Ontario province, you'll see that water, the water, going down the mountain, right? So imagine the way the water flows down the mountain. So that's the way the waterfall. I could give that analogy there. All right, water scrum. What does that mean? So overlaying waterfall style development on the Scrum framework, synonymously referring to as the Scrum Fall. So there are times where company or team or individual company or team might decide to adopt a combination or hybrid nature of waterfall and Scrum. So sometimes you hear Scrum Fall or you hear water Scrum. So what that means is just a combination of Scrum and then waterfall methodology. Work in process, WIP. What does that mean? Work that has entered the development process but is not yet finished and available to a customer or user. So if after the sprint planning, the development team will begin to execute the sprint will start, right? If you look at the Jira board, the Jira is a project management tool that the Scrum team use. So it has different columns. You have the to-do column, you have the in progress, and you have the done column. And you can also customize it. The Scrum team can customize it according to their needs, right? So when a task or when an issue or when a user story has moved from the to-do column to another column, especially in the in progress. So that is seen as work in process. So WIP, if that makes sense. Okay, so that is all for today. Like I said, this is just a continuation of the two previous presentation or broadcast I've made about the Scrum and Agile terminologies. I do encourage you to visit those previous ones so that you can catch up. As time do progress, there are others and thousands of other Scrum and Agile terminologies that should be coming your way. So just look out, and then if you have any question, concern, please put your concern or question in the comment section of this video, and I'll be able to respond to you as soon as possible. All right, just to promote my website, I do have a website called ineedscrummaster.com. It is a platform that I created because I've gotten a lot of requests from people asking if I'd be able to tutor them or guide them about their career in terms of Scrum and Agile. And so I created that website where I can make it official. So just visit the website, take a look at that. If you have been thinking about Scrum or you have heard about Scrum, you're not sure, I have free consultation where you can schedule to meet with me, and then we can discuss and have that good conversation. And then if you have thought about that, and then you want to pursue a career in Scrum, which is very, very profitable, right? Think about work from home. Think about making six figures. Think about working, having the work-life balance. Think about all the benefits that are accruing becoming a Scrum Master, right? So, and then you think that, oh, you could do that, but you're not sure where to start. I've got it covered. Visit ineedscrummaster.com, and then I have different classes. Reach out, register for the one that you want to. If you're not sure, email me at info@ineedscrummaster.com, and then we can be able to figure out how to help you. All right. So just to remind you, for people who are not sure who I am John Bosco by name, but my friends do call me JB. So feel free to call me JB. If you want to get hold of me, you can email me, and then we can be able to get in touch. Please, if you are a returning subscriber, help me to share. Refer to your colleagues, your friends, family members. If this is the first time you are visiting my YouTube channel, click that subscribe button there, notification button, like, share, refer to your friends, colleagues, whoever you think might be very interested about Scrum, and then we can get started. All right, that's where we're going to stop here for today, and then I will see you again next time. All right. Take care. Bye for now.